All right, happy Easter, everyone. Welcome to another chart review. This time we're going to be doing a little Q&A right after. So, to start off, let's just go ahead and go into um, whatever you guys want so we don't waste any time since we only have 45 minutes. So, if you can just go ahead and go into member chat, send out any charts, preferably large caps, that would be the best for us day traders. All right, yeah, Microsoft. So we saw Friday we actually got over the 238 level, which it's been having a rough time getting over, and which took us to the top of this channel that I drew earlier. See if we can get a continuation here, or we can get rejected right back down and start playing back into this unfortunate bear flag that's going on right here. But that 238 was quite pivotal here. Let me just try it on. Yeah, so you see all our candle bodies are just laying beneath that, and all week we've been trying to, even with FANG super strong, with Facebook rallying over 300, falling just short, back down, volume low. Let me try to up that. All right, so this should be a little better. All right, so going back onto Microsoft, yeah. So we see we've been having a lot of a lot of strength in FANG in general. We're going to be focusing on that primarily this week. We have a lot of prime setups, including Microsoft, if we can get a follow through right out of this channel. But so far, over 238, really, really, really good for longs. Anything that falls below and holds that level, good to go as well to grab some May expiration contracts. So I posted Netflix last week how I don't know why this border is drawn multiple times, but I posted about Netflix how we wanted to get over the 520 and the 530 pivot levels. So we actually got out of our congestion zone here between the 200 and the 50 DMA, and we broke out of this downtrend. So if we can get a follow through and break above the 556, 557 level, I believe, yeah, it's around here, then Netflix should see new all-time highs pretty fast. And we see we were building just one giant multi-month coil as well, so that's going to be helping as well if we get the break on that. So can everyone hear what I'm saying? We have some confusion in the chat right now. Okay, great. So we got the 240C on Microsoft the other day. You mentioned about the tape being weird that day, and you predicted that most likely news would be pending. Okay, regarding that. So let's go ahead and go on to that day. Was it yesterday? Friday? Sorry about that. It was Friday, right? Okay, so on this was our okay, yeah. So this one would be our Wednesday. Yeah. This one would be our Wednesday day. And I just felt the tape was acting a little strange just because we had Fang all rally. And even with a continued melt up during the day, we just had no real sustained volume come in besides the contracts that have been piling up all throughout March for the 240 Cs expiring on the, I believe it's the 16th or 18th of May. I think it's the 16th. So, yeah, we knew that Microsoft wanted to go. We didn't get the necessary volume to go in and go for it. And sure enough, later in the day when we landed back on the 200 MA, just skyrocketed way back up. So that would have been an opportunity right there. But luckily, we got a little bit off the bone after the 238 level and continued on the next day right above 238. So if we can again just go ahead and get some continuation into that, get out of this channel and have a real break along with the rest of the Fang names tomorrow. All right, so Google, another name that we've been trying to get the gap fill on, and sure enough, we got the other way around. We're going to break out here to new all-time highs. We can clear over the 2,145 to 2150. We should go for the 2200 mark fairly easily. Again, has been one of the strongest large cap names and Fang names throughout this entire February March madness of chop. It hasn't broken its 50 DMA quite since October, really, since we had the previous heart attack crash during the fall. And yeah, just kept going on with its strength. We can continue to get some more meat off the bone this week, actually, for Google. We'll see if we can get some follow through, or this will just be another rejection off of the all time high level back down into the channel, and we might even, who knows, get that gap fill. All right, so Facebook, another Fang name that has been breaking out recently. And again, when we got that initial breakout, I quite said we're not going to get that 300 mark just yet, and we missed it by a couple cents. We got rejected back down, no problem. Mentioned that we were just going for a retest. We got the retest, and now we're getting the follow through. And we should be good for some 305 contracts expiring this Friday. If we can get back over the 300 level, I'll be looking to snag a good portion up for myself, because this is just textbook breakout right here. Breaking out of a downtrend, large multi-month flag right here, just pure textbook. Breaking out, come back down for the retest, and now we're getting that follow through. Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're getting dated contracts, so long as market holds, it should be fine no matter, when volume spikes come in. But regardless, over 300, no matter who's in, I'll take some 305 contracts expiring this Friday, personally, myself. Amazon as well, we're working on a little symmetrical triangle, or at least we were earlier, and now we're just working over to get back over this pinch level at the congestion zone. So this is going to be interesting to see the reaction here. We do have it lined up with our, I believe this is the 3180 or the 3185 level, and we're getting a pinch at the 50 MA and the 200. So if we can get some follow through, we should see some pretty aggressive movement, and what is shaping up to be to the upside. Again, Amazon just kept hugging on to that 200 DMA, and whenever we lose it, we see some pretty aggressive downturns. So we're in an interesting position here. Again, I personally expect a violent movement in either direction on Amazon in specific. You guys can feel free to give me some more chart suggestions or requests of your own. I know someone wanted IPOE. Let's search that up. Okay, so IPOE looks like we're breaking a downtrend off of some poor volume here, so that's a little concerning here, especially since we're below the 50 DMA. You see, we've been losing momentum ever since we stopped breaking the full flags up, and again, we see full flag up, break, again, break, and now here we lost the momentum, and it's just been itching to break. Let's see, Apple, of course. So interestingly enough, where PayPal got rejected the other day was where we formed our initial break with the fake out right here, fake breakout, and we're getting rejected again off of what appears to be a little head and shoulder necklace here. A little sloppy one, but could work. Apple, I would have to admit, one of the weaker FANG names, which is initially why I didn't pull it up first and foremost. And we are in a congestion zone here, so we really just have no direction whatsoever. But if the rest of FANG follows through, hopefully Apple will get a little bit of green as well. Yeah, it looks like I have to clean up my charts a little bit for the upcoming weeks. Okay, so Neo, we got some good news over the weekend, but we'll see how we open up with futures if we can get a follow through. But 40 is a pivotal point for Neo to hold for continuation. And if we hold that, we can look to open up some starters, but no real movement is going to come unless we get over that 42 mark. I believe it was 42, right? We have the highs of 42.0. Yeah, so we need to get over 42 in order to have any real day trade opportunities for this name. But holding over 40 should be looking good for some long dated contracts, especially with all this overhead rails coming in. Again, when I clean up my charts a little bit, I'll upload a chart for the premium chart section. Okay, so Tesla, another name that's in a little bit of a congestion zone as well. Again, we are here pinned below the 50 and the 200. Now, what's interesting is, again, EV's been getting a lot of good news, especially over this weekend after market was closed. So we'd have to see how investors are going to react based off of that. But let's look at some levels in between to see what we have to hold. Interestingly enough, we close at the very low of the day on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. So looks like we're battling the 658 support, and if we lose that, we can see easily to the 654. So if you want to play in between those levels, and again, there's 650 right below. 650 is going to be the most important one to hold in order for us to maintain this uptrend that it's been working on. Otherwise, we're just looking back down. Again, 650 hold. We'll see if we get a fall through based off of that. If we can get over, I believe it was the 704. Yeah, there's one around 709. Okay, if we see a breakout above the 704, I'm going to be looking to take some day trades for myself on the 720s. And even if we do hit that 720 strike, I'm going to continue to hold onto that. Again, 720 was, I believe, 2 weeks ago. That was our trigger. So again, that's going to be a point of strong rejection there. So PayPal in an interesting spot here. We have, again, pinch below its 50 and 200 like a lot of names, but it is working on getting over better than most. And here we have a little bit of a daily strong trigger here as it's lining up with our key pivot right along the 255 point. So let's see the movement on Friday. So really strong rejection for no apparent reason. Again, the 255 is what we want to be looking to break. So this might go on the weekly watch list over 255, and we can go ahead and find our price targets above. Let's see what we have. So we can hold on for the 260 to 262 price target, and right after that, we're looking at 264 and 267. So a name to add for your watch list. So Pins did have some good news over the weekend. I believe they're in talks to, oh, right here. They're reportedly in talks to acquire Visco. So, yeah, photo editing app. And we already made it up over its 50 DMA and back into the channel. So lots of strength lining up for Pins, especially if it can hold over its 50 DMA. A name for a potential swing, multi-day continuation, 5%. Very possible here if market allows. Again, NFLX, I believe this got some sort of FDA approval. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in chat over the weekend. And it's fairly hard to gauge names that have such huge news over the weekend, especially such as FDA approval. So I'm quite bullish on this name, a name that I would add long terms and wouldn't be surprised if we hit triple digits on this year. So Mara unfortunately got rejected at the top of the channel. Again, this drew it way long ago, I believe. Yeah, just off of the rail, parallel, rejecting right off. Not looking the best, but if we can get back over this channel, then I'd be quite convinced, especially what seems to be, let's see this level right here. Okay, so we have a little bit of a, and sure enough, it's the 50 psych level. So long as it holds 50, we can get back over 50. We should see some continuation for this to attempt to get back over the channel. So maybe a starter there. So Walmart not looking that pretty, especially since we're still under that 200 DMA, and now we're getting pinned below the 50 again. Look at all this overhead resistance that's coming up and over. It has to have some sort of catalyst, or we need some major strength in order to break this. But once we do, we can start to look back at it. This is not a name that's very easy to day trade. In fact, I don't think I've ever day traded Walmart. It's primarily a swing name, a very slow mover. Airbnb. Okay, we'll do it. So at first glance, what I'm worried about Airbnb is, let's see if we formed a diamond top here at all. Let's see. No, nothing that can be too justified. We do have some obvious overhead resistance here, lots of it, especially at the rail, and failing to clear over that 50 DMA. It hung on to it not very well, but again, we see the candle bodies all hovering either over or under our 50 DMA. So again, we can watch for some early weak strength. If we get that, then sure, we can go ahead and attempt a breakout, and this can be a little midday multi-bagger. But until then, we need to see some stronger conviction on this. So JPM, yeah, ER coming up. You know, banks not very easy to day trade, and on top of that, ER coming up, but it is forming what looks to be. Let me get this congestion zone out of the way. All right, so we're forming a little congestion channel right here. Let me get us up and over. But yeah, it seems like we're just having no volume ever since banks got that huge pullback when we played puts on JPM, but appears to be just waiting for its catalyst on earnings. Maybe give it time to digest a little. All right, so Twitter, we actually, some ugly printed candles for this breakout, but we'll see if we have some early week strength again. Another name with Airbnb to prove itself earlier in the week. We did break this downtrend here, and we did clear the 50 DMA. However, the close wasn't as optimal. So again, another name to watch. If we get some sympathy off of pins, that'd be great. If not, then it looks like we might get slapped into this congestion zone that it's building up here, and below the downtrend. That wouldn't be too pretty, but we'll see. We do have Adam quite bullish on this, so maybe for good reason. So AMD, it looks like we are getting up. Oh, really nice, actually. One of more favorable recent setups here for AMD. So we printed a nice candle, got us over the 200 DMA. We have this 50 coming up and over and lining up with the rail, so we can see some resistance there. However, I remember that NVIDIA printed a really nice chart, and semiconductors might start moving with each other. We'll see a little bit of sympathy for AMD. So let's see what levels we have to maintain over. So we have our 80.3 level over here, and I believe up and over this was 82. I'd have to go back to the daily and take some time to draw some levels here real quick. So yeah, we have it around our 82 level, 81.9 to be exact. But yeah, we can open up a starter at 81.9 if we see some continuation from NVIDIA. Let me check that. So we got out of our little congestion zone over the 50 DMA and back into the channel. So really, 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 really strong. I saw a mention of the 555 level. Actually, what we would be getting rejected at if we went into 555 is right over here at the 560 level. See all these fake outs over 555 and getting rejected with the candle wicks right on top. So we are looking to clear more so that 560 area. Clear it. We have 565 above, and I believe that's 572 over that. So really interesting where we left off with SQ. Not the candle that you wanted to leave the note on, especially with this downtrend here, and right rejection at the 50 DMA. So we really need to see some rally in the cryptos for names such as Mara, SQ. We really need to get back over this and confirm our breakout. But we have been seeing some really nice volume lining up in the past few days, and all SMAs are pointing upwards. So a name to keep on early in the week. So SLV barely hanging on to its 200 DMA. It looks like I don't really see a move to the long side just yet, unless you can get some continued strength and you already built it up. You opened up a starter over here, or even over here. But as soon as it loses the 200 DMA again, we should see some strong downwind for this one. Again, not much direction here, just in this little congestion zone along with so many other names nowadays. But Google I did also review earlier, so when I upload the recording of this, you can just take a look at that. So TSM again, not the prettiest of the spreads. However, again, with the semis, they're lining up really pretty. And again, we're working on that 50 DMA. It looks like we printed a pretty bullish candle on Thursday, and we can get some early continuation. Again, lots of semiconductors. You can pick your favorites: NVIDIA, TSM, or AMD. If we get any strength in the morning, there should be some day trade opportunities, bare minimum, for those names. So I'm you working on in a channel, but not the best candle, especially with this volume on Thursday. One of the weaker semi names, but looks like we're just working on a potential triple top or a very, very, very slight rail down. If we can get some sympathy off of the other semis, maybe we can get a follow through, but I'm worried about a slight rejection here. But watch out for that 95 level. We actually have 10 minutes, so before I go on with chart reviews, does anyone have any free Q&A about day trading in general that they would like me to answer? Can you talk about your risk management and stop loss technique? So, okay, this is actually a point I want to drive home because a lot of people think there's some sort of perfect ratio or some sort of perfect percentage that you should get stop loss at, or you should put it into a certain trade. You'll see a lot of people, including myself, saying, "Oh, never put 2% of your account into a trade," but that's more so aiming towards a physiological, a psychological mindset that a lot of people seem to struggle with. If you're putting in a large portion of your account, or if you're in options and you're using money that you cannot afford to lose, then that is when the emotion will set in. It doesn't matter if it's $50 and you have $1,000 account, or if it's $5,000 and you have $100,000 account. If you're not prepared to lose it all, you will mess up your trade. So either start with paper trading to get a good mental foundation, so you wouldn't have to worry about what percentage set your stop loss at and whatnot. I would start with either that, or you can start with single super 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 cheap options on a SPY 0 day till expiration. You can bet 20 $30, and if you're fine to lose out, which you should be if you're in options, then you can develop the mindset to take bigger risks, and they won't be more so risks because you'll be ready to manage them per your plan. So it doesn't matter about, oh, I'm losing this amount of money. It's the stock is breaking this technical level. That's what you need to focus on. How can you confirm that the breakout is real and not the fake? Be it the resistance support levels or the SMAs. So the confirmation of your breakout is always going to determine on price action and volume. And the best way to get a firm understanding of that is if you go ahead and go into the educational info and see the volume video. Do not do yourself injustice by, not taking 20 minutes out of your day to watch a single video that could explain, a path that can provide riches to you. Can you get some insight on how you prepare your watch list? Yeah, so I've mentioned before, you want to go ahead and take 2 to 3 of your favorite names in each sector. So let's say it's tech, let's say it's biotech, let's say it's pharmaceuticals, let's say it's retail, let's say it's banks. Just pick 2 to 3 names that, one, have good spreads on their options, and two, that you just enjoy trading or have a good tape to follow. If you can do that, then whatever rotation the markets goes into, and there's lots of softwares that tells you where big money is flowing for the day, which ETFs are leading, and you can make your judgment based off of that. If you do that, you'll have a watch list ready whenever. That's why a lot of times I'll say I'm going to wait till pre-market to set out a watch list, because I'll just be ready where smart money is flowing, and then I'll have a watch list of names ready for it. How far in time you see to draw your levels? I think you're referring to how far back I look to draw my levels. You don't want to really limit yourself to how far back you want to go back, but a good rule to gauge is the week of is where you will find the first initial resistance to play day trades. So you can have a breakout if you pass a level that's a weekly resistance, but then you run into a monthly resistance and you get slapped back down. There is still an opportunity to day trade that initial breakout. So that's why we have retests. There's multiple opportunities. So I would say prioritize the week and then prioritize the 2 weeks before. Other than that, it shouldn't really matter unless you're going for a multi-month breakout. When you build up a small account into a larger account, what would you say the most important mindset should be? Also in your trading career, what would you say the aha realization was that allowed you to be more consistent and compound your account over time? The moment that I realized once I'm in a trade, I should continue looking at the chart or preoccupy myself with doing something else if the chart looks promising, and not worry so much about, okay, this is going to make up my losses or this is going to make me this amount of money. Don't focus on the money, because think about it. How many times did you pass up on a trade and then you just watch the chart melt up throughout the day, confirming your bias candle after candle? You could have done that with an order executed prior. But the reason why this time, it's not stressing you as much is because your money that you can't afford to lose is being wasted by either theta, or, you don't have the patience to wait another candle or to see if it hits your stop loss. How early do you wake up to look at the market and make a watch list? You can wake up 30 minutes before market opens, because we see a lot of times where even if you wait until pre-market, I'll announce a level to be broken for a trigger maybe at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and then 10 minutes before market opens it breaks that trigger. So all you need to do is wake up in time to see where money is flowing. If you can do that, then you know which stocks to pick. Swami, it's actually linked, I believe, in the member chat here. When you say big/small account, is one Roth/cash, meaning I'm playing now with a small account and I feel no. So my big account is on TD, so I'm just using different brokers to have 2 separate cash accounts. Roth, you more so wanna, focus on larger commons. I place all my trades on my phone. The only reason I use Webull is desktop, is for the easier charting, and 2, the thinner lines. The order should be way easier to place on your phone, 100%, unless it's a 0 day till expiration, and then it'll pop up that little message for you. Again, Manro, I believe it's linked here, or yeah, pinned here in member chat. There's multiple platforms that tell you which ETFs are leading for the day. I'll take one more question, then we'll answer one other question that a member asked over Twitter regarding SPY end of day. No, I don't use any interfaces, nothing like that. All manually on my phone. So thank you, Ritz. Went ahead and linked it. Let me pin that as well. All right, so end of day, this member wanted to short SPY at this 50 DMA break. So there's multiple reasons why we shouldn't have done that, or this member shouldn't have done that, or, you know, I don't know if he did. So intraday one, we saw no indication of the 50 DMA acting as support or bouncing. So this was simply a trend day up. And two, as you go more into the day, you want to be using larger time frames. That's why I always say I'll work my way up to the 15. So later in the day, if we switch over to the 15, we can see that this, the area that he tried to short, had a support under it that was yet broken, this 399.33 level. So you are essentially shorting without a plan or shorting blind, especially when the next candle isn't breaking the lows of the previous. All right, if we got everything answered, thank you guys for tuning in to our live Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and put out the watch list a little bit later today, and we have a lot of good names. We have a lot of opportunities for the small account challenge into next week as premium builds up, and we have lots of time on our DK. So let's have a good one, and I'll see you guys all for a fantastic week.